Hello and welcome back to this week's video. In this week's video we're going to be looking at the top 10 biggest captures of all time. So let's get straight into this video. There should be some crazy fish in this video. So let's see what the video has to hold for us. And make sure you stay all the way to the end to see what types of fish in here. I have kind of an idea what's going to be here, only knowing from my knowledge that there's like sturgeon that are big. Well, I don't know if this is going to be it, but there's probably going to be some huge sturgeon, some huge glass groupers. So let's get straight into the video and let's find out for ourselves.
The world of fishermen is a very interesting one. They spend hours or even days trolling for the perfect catch, and over the generations many amateur fishermen have conflated tales of their one big catch to impress friends and acquaintances. But nowadays with the internet,
see, there's the Goliath group there, that looks big, so that might be on here because I know they can get absolutely huge.
On that note, we're going to be looking at 10 of the biggest catches of all time. Let's begin, shall we? Number 10. The largest lobster.
A lobster. Is a lobster classed as a fish? No, I don't think so. Could definitely be wrong, but I highly doubt a lobster classed as fish. But I'm curious what the biggest lobster is.
Lobsters to come for it. This system of capture often means that lobsters are hard to catch in large numbers.
I bet there's some good money in lobster fishing, to be fair, considering how much they sell for in restaurants and stuff. But I bet it's very time consuming, depends on how much you're catching.
Dangerous occupations in the world. Fishermen have become entangled in the lines used to haul up traps, and this can prove fatal in many cases. Despite the risks, hundreds of people take to the seas every year hoping to make the big catch. And in 1977, a crew off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada, caught what Guinness called the world's heaviest marine crustacean, a 44-pound, 6-ounce North Atlantic lobster.
44 pounds.
Largest officially recognized lobster, a massive marine lobster caught in 1926 was said to weigh a shocking 51.5 pounds. Unfortunately,
51 pounds for a lobster. But they said that one's not recorded, so I doubt it. But then they said there's one that's 44 pounds that's been recorded. That sounds very big. That must be like half a metre to a metre long. That's big. That is ridiculous for a lobster. But they also have a lot of weight on them from the shells and everything, don't they? And they're quite like dense. So.
The largest catfish. Catfish are some notoriously large creatures, and the aptly named Mekong giant catfish is no exception. These giant fish live along the Mekong.
I think the biggest type will probably be a Wells catfish. I don't actually know a catfish species that's much bigger than a Wells. Wells are huge. That's a Wells catfish.
Unfortunately, they have been severely overfished and are currently a critically endangered species.
Not too sure what species.
On January
I've seen
18,
them before.
2019, an unbelievable specimen was caught by a local fisherman. The monstrous Mekong was over 9 feet long and weighed an unbelievable 650 pounds. Experts who verified the catch have said that it may not only be the largest catfish ever caught, but it may in fact be the largest freshwater fish ever caught in general.
I disagree with that. £600 for the largest freshwater fish ever caught. On Monster Carp, they catch bigger fish than that. On when they go to like Thailand and stuff, getting Jurassic Park. But yeah, I don't think that's the biggest catfish. I bet there's definitely been sturgeon, freshwater sturgeon caught bigger than £600.
Number 8.
But I bet there's bigger catfish than £600.
The largest salmon. Salmon is a notoriously common fish, and chances are if you've ever eaten at a seafood restaurant, then you've seen salmon on the menu. It is a staple of seafood cuisine and can be found on sandwiches, in cans, and as a regular feature with sushi. In the wild, salmon ranges from 3 pounds to over 100 pounds depending on the species, and without fail, the largest variety of salmon is the king salmon, sometimes called the Chinook salmon. In 1949, a group of fishermen in Petersburg, Alaska sprung a net trap and waited for it to fill with various species of fish. However, when they pulled up the net, they had caught a little more than they had bargained for. Among the fish was a 126-pound king salmon, and the fish was verified and to this day is one of the largest salmon ever caught.
126-pound salmon.
Number 7. The largest squid. It's no surprise that one of the largest recorded squids was from the species known as the colossal squid.
Yeah,
the colossal squid is even larger than the giant squid, with members of the species reaching over 30 feet in length and
I think they were originally weren't sure if they were real, because I swear they saw them on like some underwater cameras and they weren't sure how big it actually was, and then they got more evidence. But apparently the eyeball, its own, is the size of like a plate, like a dinner plate, which is very big.
Weighing up to 1,500 pounds. In February of 2008, fishermen in New Zealand hauled up a massive net. They had expected it to be filled with millions of smaller fish that would be sold commercially. When they got a look at the contents, though, they realized that the net contained several fish and one inconceivably massive 33-foot-long colossal squid. They realized that the specimen was truly something special, and they turned it over to the Auckland University of Technology. This is where marine biologist Steve O'Shea confirmed that it was the largest squid on record. Number 6.
They didn't kill it, did they?
The largest marlin. Marlin are a species of fish most recognizable for their long pointy nose and their incredible speed. Marlin can swim at speeds of up to 50 miles per hour or 80 kilometers an hour and weigh over 1,500 pounds. Back in 1970, many people were finding out about exotic fishing opportunities for the first time, and the surge in popularity would lead to one of the biggest catches in history. In 1970, a group of anglers were out on a fishing adventure in Oahu, Hawaii. The group was out on a charter boat skippered by Captain Cornelius Choi when they landed the catch of a lifetime. The fish, which would go on to be dubbed Choi's Monster after the captain, was a Pacific Blue Marlin weighing 1,805 pounds, and to this day it remains the largest.
1,805 pounds. That is big. But the sad thing about it, they killed the marlin. The biggest marlin ever existed doesn't exist anymore. Pretty sad. On record anyway, I'm sure there's got to be fish that are like so much bigger than that, just never been found underwater. There's got to be a marlin underwater somewhere that's probably like 2,500 pounds. Probably something stupid like that.
Marlin ever caught on a rod and reel.
But they are an amazing
Number
fish.
5.
Proper fascinating.
The largest sea bass. The giant sea bass is a critically endangered type of bass that is most common along the Gulf of California, where they can be found in relatively shallow water, typically near kelp forests or underwater ledges.
That was a thing.
These enormous fish can reach 7 feet and weigh as much as 500 pounds, and they're known to eat anchovies, croaker, mackerel.
You can get sea bass in the UK, but nothing like this. I did not know there was a giant sea bass. They're huge. Probably taste nice as well.
Sheephead, whitefish, sand bass, and even crab. But unfortunately, they're also pretty common prey for a number of species, most notably humans. Bass fishing is a massive industry, and everything from video games to stores have taken their namesake from the sport of bass fishing. It comes as no surprise then that every year thousands of amateur and professional fishermen take to the water to try and get their name in the record books. But that's no easy feat. In fact, the current world record has been in place since 1968 when a giant sea bass was caught at Anacapa Island. The fish itself weighed 563.5 pounds and measured in at 7.4 feet in length.
That's a scary sized fish. For a fish, that's nuts. That fish could literally open its mouth and probably eat me. It could actually probably fit my shoulders in its mouth. That's scary for a fish, 500 pounds. But it's not like a fish that's 500 pounds that's like a really long type fish, like a sturgeon or a gar or something, or an arapaima. It's a bass with a mouth that is circular and it's huge and could eat anything.
With diminishing populations and growing interest in other species, it is possible that this record may remain unbroken for quite some time. Number 4. The largest crab. Alaskan crab fishing holds the distinction of being the most dangerous job in the United States. According to analysts with the Bureau of Labor Statistics, it is the job with the single highest fatality rate, which, if you're wondering, is over 300 fatalities per 100,000 people. Many more endure crippling...
300 fatalities for over, what did he say, 10,000 people? I think so. That is nuts. I wouldn't see it as ridiculously dangerous, but then if you overthink it, then there's loads of ropes on the boat and all you need to do is chuck a crate in, the rope wraps around your leg and you're getting dragged into the bottom of the sea. Or you're on a boat anyway, something could happen easily, boat sinks, you never know.
Injuries at the hands of heavy machinery, but the deaths that do occur most often come as a result of drowning or hypothermia. These are two risks that are all too real for the brave men and women who risk so much for this lucrative career, and those whose lives revolve around crab fishing live for a moment like the one in the spring of 1980 when a crew of Alaskan fishermen pulled up a single crab weighing over 33 pounds. It was said at the time that the one crab could have fed a large family for a week or more. To this day, the incredible catch remains the largest individual crab ever caught.
So it's pretty big, but not huge.
The alligator gar.
Alligator gar.
Many of the entries on today's list might very well be fish that you've heard of.
It's a long fish and a scary fish. The rows of teeth on this fish are absolutely petrifying, and as you can see from what I just froze on, it's a scary fish. So let's have a look how big the actual biggest one is.
Or even eaten in a fancy
I'm guessing probably 1,500.
But this next fish is one that not everyone is familiar with. The alligator gar is the largest species of the gar family, a type of fish that dates back to prehistoric times and often gets dubbed a living
1,500
fossil.
I'm guessing.
They glean their name from the obvious physical similarity that they bear to an alligator, but the similarities don't simply end there.
It does look like
the alligator gar is one of few fish that are capable of breathing both air and water, and they can grow to lengths of 10 feet. While these bizarre fish used to be fairly widespread, their range has shrunk considerably over the years, and now they are most common in southern regions of the United States and parts of Mexico. In areas where they still occur naturally, alligator gar are still common targets of sport fishing, and the largest confirmed catch with a rod and reel was a jaw-dropping 279-pound beast captured in Rio Grande.
I think I predicted a bit high, 1,500 pounds. Yeah, that's a bit high now. The fish would have to be like 20 foot to be that. Yeah, okay, but 300 pounds is still very big. Still very big, but you won't like to catch yourself swimming in any water where that fish is living.
Texas by a man named Bill Valverde on January 1st, 1951. That's gotta come with some pretty big bragging rights. Now it's time for the day's best pick. My pick for today may be one of the largest and the strangest creatures we've ever seen. Number 2. The best pick of the day, because this thing really doesn't have much of a name actually.
Is that real?
This picture shows one of the most well-known and public cover-ups related to the world of fishing. In 1995, a large commercial fishing rig risked the lives of its crew members in a bid to bring this massive creature back to shore. However, when authorities arrived, they didn't receive the praise they expected. The creature was immediately deemed the property of the Russian army, and even academics were barred from getting close. This photo is infamously one of the only ones of the incident. After gaining possession of the specimen, it was immediately broken down and destroyed, and due to the lack of documentation of the incident and the circumstances surrounding it, it is widely believed that the creature was part of a biological weapons plan that was abandoned following the Cold War. Now, before we do get to...
What? That... a fish that was part of the biological weapons in the Cold War, so it's something that the Russian army have made, so they probably like... So it sounds like they've changed the whole biology of this whale thing to use it as a weapon. So they might have like changed the... They changed something in the eggs when the baby whale or something was hatching to make as a weapon. I don't know. I don't know if this is true. This sounds very confusing.
To our number 1 spot, let's take a moment for an honorable mention. Most of the animals on today's list have been the largest examples of species that are known for their size, but this entry is a little bit different. No fish completely embodies the idea of small stature quite like a shrimp. The one shrimp that isn't about to take your short jokes is the mantis shrimp.
I know about the mantis shrimp. I've researched them quite a lot because they're very, very fascinating. And they can literally punch with the little claws, and I think they're strong enough and they can punch through glass. So if you have them in a fish tank, if they punch it at the perfect angle, they can literally smash through the fish tank, which is crazy.
This species of shrimp has the ability to strike its enemies with a force of 1,500 newtons, and with a punch like that, it's no surprise that the mantis shrimp was the largest shrimp.
I think it's got the fastest moving body part on any animal in the world, and that's the punch, and it's very powerful.
Ever caught. Fishermen along the Indian River in Florida caught a shrimp that measured
really
18
cool
inches in length.
I saved the best for last, but
first,
I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it.
Give it a try. Go down below, like, subscribe. And if you'd like to check out this original video, the link will be in the description below.
The largest shark. From Hollywood movies to a week in their honor, one deep-sea creature has captivated the hearts and minds of people everywhere for generations, and there's a good chance that they always will. That being sharks. If you scream it out at the beach, you will have people running in every which direction. But believe it or not, there is an entire industry filled with brave men and women who make it their goal to get up close and personal with these infamous carnivores. In case you didn't know, shark fishing is a very real and very dangerous pastime. While there are many legal thresholds in place to protect vulnerable species, it is possible to acquire a license to take part in this larger-than-life version of fishing, and while most people aren't exactly hauling in great whites at the end of their lines, some pretty big sharks do get snagged. So, just how big is the biggest one on record? According to the Guinness Book of World Records, declared that the largest fish ever caught was a whale shark that was 41 feet, 6 inches long, and several thousand pounds. What's the biggest fish that you've ever caught? Would you ever want to fish for any of the creatures on today's list? Let us know in the comments section down below. With all that said and done, that's our video for today, and I will see.
So that is it. So that last one, which you cut up very fast, was a whale shark, and he said it was several thousand pounds, so probably about 3,000 or 4,000 pounds, which is huge. Whale sharks are... I don't actually know if they are classed as shark. No, they are. It's like a shark, but it's kind of got whale features where its mouth opens like a whale and it doesn't eat like a shark. It's not really as predatory as a shark. Kind of just lets things go in its mouth. But that is it for this week's video, and I hope you have enjoyed and hope you've learned quite a bit about the top 10 biggest fish ever been caught. So thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you in next week's video.